Hi again, it's Laura at Hyperstamper. Really love today's antique junk journal. This is a beautiful book about trees and nature from 1909. And I pulled this title here from a 1950s nature dust cover book. And it's still got the spine intact here. Sweet little image of the tree carried over from this beautiful cover with several different shades of green and the blacks, and I just love it so much. It's fully intact here on the outside, and I added some vintage string of beads here, a vintage necklace, and then some matching ribbons. I love it. And of course, everything in here is nature themed, and it is all authentic vintage and antique ephemera, even the inserts. It's just so pretty, you're gonna love it. So let's take a look inside before I put it in my Etsy shop, hyperstamper.etsy.com. Original first pages of the book here. So it was published in 1909, and it was actually printed in 1913. Sorry, I said 1909. And this is from a 1930s children's book. We've got some birds and bunnies. This here is from a antique book. This is a nest of eggs of a wood duck, and then I just put some antique paper inside to journal on. And this is from a vintage Insects and Butterflies of North America book. Now this is one of the original pages of the book. Lots of beautiful space to journal on here. And I made this flower out of antique paper. This here is early 1900s. Look how sweet these little girls are in the field, picking their little daisies. I love it. That's what I think of when I think of nature. Fields of flowers. And over here we've got this gorgeous postcard from the very early 1900s. And look at that, the little deer family. It's beautiful. It's just lovely. And then down here is some vintage printing of some nature stamps, which I really like. And this is some Canadian birch bark here. I love using this, and it has to be in a nature journal, right? This here is lovely from the 1940s. A beautiful poem here about the sun and nature again. Just lovely. And I just hand stamped some flowers on there. And then this is really cool. I wish you could feel it. It is super embossed. Can you see how embossed it is there? It's like really lifted. It's fuzzy pansies down here. And then this was all hand painted, of course. And that's the back there. And this is probably between 1902 and 1905 is what I found in my research. And it's just wonderful. I love it. This is from an antique nature book as well. Sorry, I'm out of camera. And we've got the botanicals there and here. So I made them into a double pocket. And then this is original page from this book. And I turned it into a little booklet because the plates are so beautiful. And then inside I just put another little plate from this book. Isn't that so precious? So precious. I love it. It's a little delicate, but that's okay. It's beautiful to have and look at. Fun little nature page here from a children's book, and this is from a vintage Animals of North America book. We've got some, looks like carnivores on one side and then seals on the other. This is a 50-year-old collector's card. It's a bald eagle, so that's great for nature as well. That would have been probably one of many different kinds you could collect. And then this is one of my little booklets from a vintage book on botanicals as well. There we go. Also the pocket. Beautiful. Look at how pretty that nature page is with the birds and the eggs. And then here is another beautiful hickory tree page. And in the back it's the beautiful fields and rivers. These are different kinds of bark. So cool. And this came from that 1950s same place I got the dust cover from is on the part of the book on trees. And then of course with trees you have to have squirrels. So this is early 1900s book here, or book page. Look at that beautiful picture there, an American gray squirrel and a red squirrel. I have red squirrels in my backyard. And then these are some dried flowers that I got out of an antique book. They fell out. Somebody was pressing flowers, which they loved to do back in the early day. More nature pages from this book. And another wonderful little children's book page. Isn't that beautiful? That is from an antique 1904 page. And then this here, just a beautiful little image with leaves and flowers. And you can journal on the back of that as well. And look at this little boy, found some nature himself. And little hike in the woods. And then more nature up here, something new for spring from a vintage book. And this is another piece of that dust cover from 1950s. I love it. I love how this is laid out and the discoloration of it. And you can journal on the back as well. This is a little poem I found in a 1920s children's book, Nature's Friend. And then this is from an early 1900s book called Nature's Children. And that page is on waterfalls. And I am a big fan of waterfalls myself. So that was great. This is from the 50s. My sister actually got me this booklet. And this is another one of those wonderful collectors. You would collect the stickers and then put them inside the book. That's the photographer there. Another page from this book. And this is so pretty. So look at these beautiful birds all in the tree that you would spot in November and December. And then this is September and October. Isn't that beautiful? I just didn't have the heart to separate them through the signature, so I put them right in the middle. And just some more big giant trees here. And look at this, Nature's Tools. Beautiful hummingbird there. That's so funny. And then this came from a 1930s Beatrix Potter book, Mr. Squirrelton. And look at the owl and the squirrels there. Love it. This is from an 1800s book. I love these rusted staple marks on the side. And then this is from a vintage Trees of America book as well. And that is vintage there. Have fun. And whoop, another little nature-y animals there. Nature's Children book, Bedtime in the Forest. And this here is from about the 1920s. And it's not the greatest photograph, but you can see it's three people who are out on a hike, and the beautiful, they're by like a rushing river here with big rocks. And I love that they're all dressed up on their hike. That just cracks me up every time I see those kinds of things. More vintage book of trees. And then we've got this fun little 1930s children's book page with bears on it. And I turned that into a journaling spot. And this came from an early 1900s Birds of North America book. Stunning plate here with the ducks. Love it. Or sorry, geese? Geese. And then just this beautiful 1800s picture here from a children's book with the flowers and sort of a marshland. And then we've got the birds up here. Oh, so pretty. Atlas of America and more birch bark here. So I hope you love this as much as I loved making it. You can find this and all of my journals at hyperstamper.etsy.com. Don't forget to subscribe and come back soon. Bye for now.